Okay, you want to take the stems off. And we're going to use that for the stuffing. A lot of people clean this out. You can do it yes or no, whatever, whichever you want. And I like to use a lot of garlic. Being Italian, we do use a lot of garlic. So we've got our garlic. Mince the garlic. And you really want to do it a fine mince. So now we're going to go on to the stems. And they have to be chopped up finely too. And with this recipe, you can put in pieces of provolone cheese, as long as everything's chopped finely. You can also stuff, put some sausage meat, but I would cook that first before you incorporate it into the stuffing for the mushrooms. You can put prosciutto. We call it prosciutto. Everybody calls it prosciutto. Up in the Bronx, you called it prosciutto. And if you didn't say that, no one knew what you were talking about. Okay, so now that we've gotten this chopped, we're just going to combine it a bit and then put it in the bowl. Okay, so now comes the parsley, and you want to use flat-leafed Italian parsley because it tends to have more flavor than curly parsley. Curly parsley is really used as garnish. Remove the leaves from the stem. And I guess you can chop up the stems finely also. Okay, so now we're chopping up the parsley as fine as we can. Okay, so here we have the parsley, the mushroom stems, and the garlic. And we're going to start putting in olive oil, breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, and Parmesan cheese. A little olive oil. Right now, we'll be using more. Putting in the breadcrumbs. I don't measure anything. I usually go by eye and consistency. As you can see, that's dry. We need a little more oil, but we're going to put in our salt and pepper. The oil. You don't want to see the dry breadcrumbs. Okay, we're putting in the Parmesan. We've been putting in the olive oil as we're going along, so you don't get it too oily, but you don't want this too dry either. You don't want the breadcrumbs to not adhere. We put in the Parmesan, we're mixing it up. I like to use fresh Parmesan, grating it in. You can also use Pecorino Romano, which is a little saltier and more tangy than Parmesan. I'm just going to drop a little oil on it. And this is just to give the mushrooms a start in their baking. We're baking it at 375, and it depends on, when they look like they're done, and you should start to see the oil at the bottom, bubble a bit. This is like an all-purpose Italian filling. You can stuff tomatoes with it. You can stuff zucchini with it. You can stuff eggplant with it. You can put walnuts, chopped walnuts in here too. Okay, so we're stuffing everything, and And this stuffing recipe is an all-purpose Italian stuffing recipe. You can stuff tomatoes with it, artichokes, eggplant, whatever your heart desires. And you can also add different things to your filling. Like I like to, recently I've started using a tangy provolone cheese to put in it, finely chopped, of course, everything finely chopped. Okay, we filled the mushrooms and we want it to stay just the way you filled it. You don't want to tamp it down because it will make it just too dense. Okay, so now we're just sprinkling the top with olive oil. I'm heavy-handed with olive oil because I like it. Now we're going to bake these in the oven at a 375-degree temperature, and we'll keep checking to see when it's done, because if you're doing a big batch of mushrooms, it's going to take a different amount of time than these small ones, and these are large mushrooms, so it's hard to judge. For me, it's hard to judge. So here we go.